Hey everybody, Roxabox90 here with a huge amount of conspiracy spoilers, and we're going to try to get through them as quick as we can with my thoughts. Just wanted to mention for those who don't know, and I'll put a spoiler warning here, and I'll tell you in the video annotation where you should skip to, and in the description of the video if you want to avoid this, but this is for a story element. Elspeth, in the novels, is pretty much confirmed to be dead. Pretty much confirmed. Because the story goes as follows: Elspeth defeated Xenagos, stabbed him with Godsend, and he's presumably dead, which means the end of Xenagos. But the reward is that Heliod told her no champion should know more than her god, even though he's not her god really. And because she knows things he doesn't, he kills her, or stabs her with a sword, with her sword spear, which shatters. And Johnny takes her back to Theros, and the last thing we learn about her is that her vision is darkening and Erebos' agents are coming to get her, which refers back to the trailer where Erebos says, "I'm going to come get you." Very ambiguous, but then they said here in the top 5 card section, you can find it here, that the character Elspeth perished. So we can pretty much conclude that she's dead, which means Venser, who's also dead, and probably Xenagos too. And this means that there'll probably be no future versions of this Planeswalker. I mean, we've had a bunch of her already, so it makes sense they would get rid of her. I wonder if they'll get rid of Jace the way they got rid of Elspeth. Unlikely. But anyway, I just want to mention that if you guys remember, I speculated about this a while ago, long before Journey to Nyx came out, and I said it would be really interesting if Heliod turns out to be the bad guy. That would make a much better story than Xenagos being the bad guy. And while nobody confirmed that Xenagos is in any sense a good guy, and he's killed as the bad guy ascended, this proves that Heliod is a pretty evil, horrible guy, and I'm so happy to see that confirmed. So just pointing out, it's kind of neat. Let's get to the spoilers here. We have a whole bunch that came in. Bessandra, the Battle Seraph, who's a decent angel that, remember, Conspiracy is a draft format designed for draft. So I would say, since the draft format's going to be more powerful, more along the lines of Modern Masters or even higher than that, it's going to be interesting to see what's considered a bomb and what's not. Usually she would be a pretty decent bomb because she can force certain things to attack, and she can prevent combat tricks, which means that you can set up your deck accordingly. She's pretty awesome. Legendary also. Brago, we already saw. Brago's Favor, these are the new weird conspiracy cards that I believe there's going to be an actual card, and you start the game with this card face down in the command zone, so it's connecting to Commander, and you secretly name a card. You may turn this conspiracy card face up at any time and reveal the chosen name. What's weird here is they don't say if you have to write the name out, so that you can't change it mid-game if something else comes up, but it says spells with the chosen name you cast cost 1 less to cast. So it seems a little weird, if not almost broken, if you have the choice to just flip it up and name anything you want. If you have to write down underneath the card or something, I didn't get to watch the videos discussing it completely, but I'd like to, if you guys know about the hidden agenda mechanic, do you have to pick something ahead of time, or can you pick something immediately before flipping it up? That'd be interesting. But either way, these things are a long-term effect throughout the game, and they'll be interesting to splash in with almost like an emblem, pretty much, if you think of it that way. Cogwork Librarian, we've already seen. Cogwork Spy, you can look at the next. You may look at the next card drafted from this booster pack, which basically means your opponent has to show you what they're drafting, which is okay. It's not as good, obviously, as the Cogwork Librarian, but it's fine. You get to see what your opponent is drafting next. Gives you a sense of colors. Council Guardian, we have Will of the Council, and it involves a lot of choices this time: blue, black, red, or green. And then he gains protection from a color. So he's a fine uncommon. He's 6 for a 5/5. But remember, the power of the set's much higher. Dak Faden, for example, we've already seen him. Power level is very high. Dimmer Doppelganger is one of my favorite cards for DH Commander. I love to see it here. It gives you long-term advantage and allows you to prevent any kind of reanimation tactics, assuming there are in the set. But I love this card so much. Double Stroke is another hidden agenda. Whenever you cast instant sorcery, you may copy it. This one's pretty powerful. I think the other one, making spells cost a little less, won't matter. Doubling spells, that can be pretty good for the right spell. Extract from Darkness, it's a mill card that lets you get a creature back from a graveyard onto the battlefield in your control. So it's pretty much 5, take a creature from any graveyard, but it also mills, which in draft is pretty awesome. Heartless Hidetsugu is back. I really don't know why. Maybe in a multiplayer environment he's going to be a bomb. Otherwise, I really don't get him. Aggressive decks will like him probably. Immediate Action gives haste, which is nice for aggressive decks. Lore Seeker is it's really interesting. After you draft, you may add a booster pack to the draft, which means that it makes the drafting cycle an additional pack longer. What's weird is that who's going to pay for that pack if you're adding a booster pack into the draft? It seems very weird that they would put something like that, but it is a rare, so it's not going to be that as common. Lurking Automaton, he's big, he's bad. He gets X11 counters where X is the highest number you noted for cards named Lurking Automaton. So you have to indicate that you've drafted or that it's been drafted before, which seems really weird. I don't know how that's going to work. Magister of Vorthis is the non-promo art. Looks pretty much as good, if not better, than the original art. We've seen it before. Musa's Preparations lets things get additional 1 counters, good for aggressive decks. Plea for Power gives you an extra turn if you win the votes. Otherwise, you draw 3 cards for 4, which is a regular draw spell. Also kind of neat. I don't know why it's rare. Maybe because it's just the extra turn thing could be too powerful, but it's almost never going to happen, so I don't get it. Reign of the Pit is like the card from New Phyrexia that blows everything up and you get an XX artifact. Here you get an XX demon, which is actually, it's based on the power versus the number, so that's actually pretty powerful. Radial Lantern will be, it prevents people from really milling you out if you have the mana, just consistently get stuff back. Rousing the Souls gives 1/1 flyers, or each person draws a card that's based on parlay. It's kind of neat. I like it. I think it's interesting. Secrets of Paradise adds 1 mana of any color. This will be good if you're trying to run a 4 or 5 color deck kind of thing. Selvala we've seen. Split Decision, you either duplicate a spell or it gets countered for 2 mana. Either way, 2 mana with flexibility, this card's pretty sick. Squirrel Nest makes lands that make tokens. Okay, I guess there'll be a theme like that. Terracodon is back. Volcanic Fallout is back. Can't be countered as 2 damage. And then Whisper Sig is the last one from here. During the draft, you may return face up. If you do look at any unopened booster pack in the draft, not being looked at by another player kind of lets you mess around and look at what other people are doing. I think it's pretty neat. I like it, especially it's 1 for a 1/1, which is okay, but the main point is you get to mess around in the draft and hopefully come out ahead. That's really neat. Let's jump on over and see if there's any others here. Some of these are going to be reprints, like Air Servant, Bassandra. We saw Brainstorm is coming back, so we have Brainstorm foils, which if you know Brainstorm foils from Mercedes Mass are insanely expensive. Cool to see coming back in foil. Then we got some other just general creatures that are coming back. Elvish Aberration, Factor Fiction, which is going to, I believe, have the Jace art, is what they were saying, which I want foil really badly, so that's awesome. Favorable Winds, Tokens, Galvanic Juggernaut, Glimmer Point Stag, Heartless Issue, okay. Liana's Spectre, it's 3 for 2 that forces discard, interesting in multiplayer. Magus of the Mirrors coming back, we got some mess around with life totals. It's a little weak body, but interesting nonetheless. What else we got here? Mortify is awesome. Palaka Worm, Plummet, Reflecting Pool, great card. Screaming Seahawk, more creatures may have this ability of searching up others of themselves. Silent Arbiter, which is from 5th Dawn, hard to get hand of card, very good in Rafik EDH decks. Squirrel Nest, which is an extension of Squirrels. Stasis Cell, Swords to Plowshares is getting a reprint again. I don't know if it's going to be this art, but if it is, then I want one foil. I'm not sure. And then we got here Terracodon, Tragic Slip. And the reason why this is important, and then Question Authority, and then Volcanic Fallout. Tragic Slip is important because Mark Rosewater mentioned that we're having 3 returning mechanics in addition to other mechanics that are the new ones, Parlay, Dethrone, and such. These, first we're having Multi-Kicker, which is awesome. He revealed Gnarlid Pack. Multi-Kicker lets you can kick something over and over and over again, an additional cost in order to get additional effects. I really hope that things like Comet Storm come back as a multi-kicker, because this card is so powerful and awesome. It would be crazy in a draft format. Probably even better than, in some ways, than Bonfire of the Damned with the multi-kicker. I've seen it do insane things. And so he said multi-kicker is one effect. Tragic Slip is bringing back Morbid. What he didn't say is if these old abilities are being printed on new cards or if they're just on the reprint cards. I hope they're not just on the reprint cards. But anyway, Tragic Slip, -13 with the Morbid. And the last up we have Basic Land Cycling, which was in Modern Masters. They brought back some of the cards, but they didn't print any new ones. So I wonder if they're going to do it here, because it's very effective in a draft format to have cards with the land cycling effect. So that's a ton of stuff to talk about, guys, and I'm going to cut the video before 10 minutes. So let me know your thoughts about these tons of spoilers. I'll put the links in the description of the video, and of course let me know what you think about Elspeth. If you guys found out about that, then let me know what you think. I'll put it down in the description of the video. And thanks for watching, guys. Like the video if you enjoyed, and as always, RocksBox90 signing out. See you guys next time.